Trackmania is a game where many compete for the fastest time, with some professionals grinding tracks for thousands of hours. But for a casual player who may only play a map for a few days, a world record is unlikely. However, the question still stands: what time is achievable from playing the same map for 3 days in a row? Would this time land in the top 10,000? Perhaps top 1,000? Is playing the same map for 3 days even worth it? It's time to embark on this journey. This is playing one map for 3 days in a row. The map of choice is the Summer 2025 campaign Map 07, a green level which is rated for beginners. The map starts with a downhill chicane to the left, followed by a drop to the right towards the first checkpoint. The track continues through a small tunnel and over some penalty grass. The second checkpoint says hello right before a sharp left-hand turn. Now, speed is gathered for a skip over the water to checkpoint 3. After checkpoint 3 is a steep uphill followed by a wide left-hand turn and a step up to checkpoint 4. Checkpoint 4 greets you with a high-speed drop launching you forward. A right-hand turn with a sand trap quickly approaches before checkpoint 5. Finally, a curved step up and drop down leads to the finish. The first attempt is clunky as the car wobbles from miscalculated turns, but there is enough control to make steady progress. A poorly chosen jump line brings the car into a crash, but the car rights itself and begins climbing up the hill and around the bend. The fast drop knocks the car off balance, but it quickly regains control before the finish. The first attempt finishes in 44 seconds. The next few attempts aren't much better. In fact, they get worse. Staying straight before the water skip remains difficult, often launching the car in the wrong direction. But the water skip is not the only obstacle. The car often carries too much speed, flinging itself over the barrier. The tunnel's left wall is battered with faceplants. Even the first checkpoint throws the car up and about. With each crash, a better understanding of the map limits and the car's abilities is developed. For example, the first drop down can be made smoother by taking the inside line. Through the tunnel, the car can begin to turn into the checkpoint before the car makes it all the way around. After checkpoint 2, taking a turn wide carries much more speed for the water skip and the uphill. With these subtle improvements, the silver and gold medals are soon acquired. Soon, the author medal was within reach. Day 2 began with similar attempts, trying to smooth the first drop down and carry more speed around checkpoint 2. Some minor improvements were made, but it felt like the car had hit a barrier. What was missing? Looking at the top times for the track, it was clear that nearly 2 seconds were still on the table. By analyzing the replays of the top players, a trend started to emerge. Each player kept the car straight as it shifted from first to second, then from second to third, and from third to fourth. And this was all done before the first checkpoint. Previously, the car was shifting into fourth at or just after checkpoint 1, not before it. Maybe this was about carrying speed from the beginning, not just about hitting the apex of each turn. Now with a clue, it was time to test it and see if improvements could be made. Excitingly, it seemed to be working. Carrying more speed from the start, the personal record began to drop. .011 was a significant accomplishment from day one, having shaved off nearly a whole second. However, a sub-32-second time seemed too close to give up. Unfortunately, breaking that 32-second barrier seemed impossible. Were there more secrets to this map that were yet to be discovered? Taking another look at the top times, it seemed many players were breaking just after the penalty grass. But why? After much deliberation, it seemed that these players had so much speed coming into the penalty grass section that they needed to stabilize the car from the small jump. This discovery reinforced the idea that this map was about carrying speed from the start. Additionally, there were 3 other notable patterns. Firstly, players were going full speed through the uphill turn, staying wide, then turning in just at the right moment. The second was taking the drop down diagonally to reduce airtime and air braking to stabilize the car. Lastly, was swinging left to right at the end to reduce airtime and increase acceleration. It would be hard to master these all right away, but they would all eventually come into play to break 32 seconds. Attempts began again with the idea that improving the start would be the most important, and the other sections would intuitively improve over time. Carrying speed from the start was by far the hardest part. Sometimes it seemed like the gear shifts were just right, but comparing the speeds at the tunnel, there was a major speed difference, in this case, nearly 30 speed. Furthermore, dialing in the turns was a challenge. Pushing the limits often led to crashes over the walls, and the repetition was beginning to feel monotonous. But finally, at the end of day 3, a sub 32-second time was achieved. .871. A time which seemed to be so far out of reach on day 1 was now achieved. Overcoming the water skip, improving the gear shifts, dialing in each apex, and carrying speed all finally paid off. While this map appears straightforward at first, there are many subtle secrets that take time to be discovered, and achieving a world record is overwhelmingly challenging. Gear shifts need to be smooth, each turn must be visualized before the car can even see it, and track limits must be tested again and again. The world record on this map is 30.115 by the player Hobby. The time achieved in this video is 1.756 seconds slower than the world record, falling in the top 12,000. With about 400,000 total players, this falls in the top 3%. While this run does not reach perfection, over time it reveals this track's subtle secrets and shows how continuous improvement is inevitable with focus and repetition.